we had no idea that the flu killed.
Right.
You know, that's the first I have ever heard of it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Can you say a little about your daughter, Alana, and are there any particular memories that really capture who she was?
Alana, unfortunately, her life was very short, only 5.5 years. She was what made my day when I came home from work. It didn't matter what kind of day I had. I always remember her running up to me with such joy and happiness to see me, and it all, just put a smile on my face, and whatever was troubling me went away. So I just remember her as a happy child.
What do you remember about the day that you lost Alana?
She woke up on a Saturday morning, and that Saturday morning she just said, I'm not feeling that good. She went to bed and then woke up a couple hours later with a 106-degree temperature. Found myself in an ambulance, taking her to the hospital, and they couldn't get her temperature under control, nor could they. They had no idea what was wrong. And it was probably several hours at that point, but they said, okay, we're going to admit her to the pediatric ICU. Took her in the elevator, and no sooner did they roll her out of the elevator, she went into convulsions and fell into a coma. Several hours later, a doctor came in and told us that she had the flu, and he was telling me that she wasn't going to live. But as soon as I heard him say the flu, I was like, I kind of stopped listening to myself. I'm like, oh, she's going to be fine. It's just the flu. It's no big deal. And he kind of recognized, like, this guy's not picking up what I'm telling him. And so he stopped and told me again. And then, that's when kind of like the reality set in. It was just surreal. Like, what was I supposed to do now? I sat there for a time. It seemed like a long time. But I held her, obviously cried. All kinds of thoughts went through my head, and I'm not going to see her again. How am I going to go home and tell my other children that their sister's not coming home? And so it was really I don't know how to say it. It was just empty. I felt hopeless, and then obviously the grief begins to wash over you, and takes on from there. It ripped the fabric of our family apart. It rips your family apart. It rips you apart. I found myself, I had to go right back to work. I didn't have the luxury of taking time off and grieving and talking to counselors. Her mother, obviously, we were all depressed, but her mother having to struggle with taking care of 2 other children and trying to process the fact that we lost a child. I felt like I was robbed, we were robbed, and of the opportunity to protect our children, because the pediatrician didn't make us aware of what the dangers of the flu, and that the vaccine was an option. So I said, I got to tell everybody that would be willing to listen.